It took a while. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Glow.
Okay.
Just getting the YouTube stream set, or the YouTube live stream set up. So give me just a couple minutes and I'll have that ready.
I was in a panic for a minute.
You are good.
Hello.
Hi, Cami. I'm just getting the YouTube live set up, ready to go. We're going to be able to stream it on YouTube live too. So thanks.
All right. Sounds good.
Hey Jen, everything looks good on YouTube Live. I've actually got it running on a different computer and it's working.
That's awesome. You know what? That's funny, Jason. I have it too on another computer. So we're good. We are well covered. So thank you, Jason. Jason was a huge help getting this. I mean, he was the help getting this done. So thank you. So I've unmuted all the members of the board. I'm still just, board member Johnson is just getting on right now.
Okay, we'll give it just a few minutes for her to get logged in.
So President Anderson, we do have all board members present.
All right, thank you, Superintendent Covington, and thank you for getting this all organized and setting up all the things we need to conduct this board meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone to board meeting for Thursday, April 9th. And we do have all of our board members here. We have board member Jaron Cooper, board member Elizabeth Payne, Vice President Belinda Johnson, and board member Vice President Belinda Johnson and board member Elizabeth Payne, and then board member Glo Merrill as well. And also we have Superintendent Covington and our business administrator, Richard Reese, is on as well. So thank you for joining us for this crazy Zoom meeting that we will have, and hopefully we'll be able to pull it off. Before we get started, if there are any patrons that would like to comment during the public comment meeting, that you need to email those to info@murrayschools.org, and our public information officer, Doug Perry, will read those during the public comment section. So if you do have public comment, please email them to that email address. All right, so as we get started, I think the board members have been made aware that there are a few little different processes that we need to follow. So we will need you to state your name and then vote your vote on any motions that we pass tonight. So first, I will start with a motion to approve the consent agenda. So the approval of minutes from March 12th and March 26th. So I will take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Oops, go ahead.
All right, Elizabeth, will you state your name and that you are making that motion?
Okay, Elizabeth Payne, I'm making a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, and I will take a second.
Second, Glo Merrill.
And then is there any discussion on the consent agenda?
No.
All right, then I will, we'll go for a vote then. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, and we'll start with Glo, since I see you first.
Glo would say yes.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Payne votes yes.
Jaron Cooper?
Jaron Cooper votes yes.
And Belinda Johnson?
Belinda Johnson, yes.
All right. Thank you. We will then move on to our administrative appointments and our assignments for our 2021 school year. So I will turn the time over to Superintendent Covington for a minute.
Great. Thank you, President Anderson, and thank you to all who have joined us today. This is always an exciting time when we get to appoint new administrators, and we look forward to bringing these new individuals into positions within the Murray City School District. So the first individual, I would like to recommend that the following individual be appointed as principal of McMillan Elementary for effective beginning July 1 of 2020. And that individual is Hannah Delata Hefferman. I would like to ask for your vote of approval on appointing her as the principal of McMillan Elementary.
Great. I will take a motion to approve Hannah Hefferman, hopefully I got that right, as the principal of McMillan Elementary for the 2020 school year.
So moved, Belinda Johnson.
Thank you. And a second?
I second Glo Merrill.
And any discussion? All right, we'll take a vote then from our board members to approve the appointment of Hannah Hofferman as the principal of McMillan. Jaren Cooper,
Jaren Cooper votes yes.
Elizabeth
Payne votes yes.
Glo Merrill,
Glo Merrill votes yes.
and Belinda Johnson.
Belinda Johnson, yes.
Great, thank you. So we will, that motion has been approved, and we welcome Hannah or Mrs. Hafferman to Murray School District, and we're going to give her a few minutes for her to say a few words.
All right, am I unmuted? Yes. All right, I just want to say thank you for welcoming me to the Murray School District family. I'm looking forward to working with each of you in supporting high levels of achievement for all of your learners and supporting your teachers and all of the work they are doing with students and families. I am especially really looking forward to getting to know all the students and families at McMillan Elementary and just can't wait to get to meet the faculty and the families and the rest of you in person someday when we can all meet in person again and get started. So thank you. It's with a lot of gratitude that I accept this position.
Anna, would you please let us know how to properly pronounce your name? This is Superintendent Covington, and I'm sorry.
No worries. You know what? It's been a lifelong struggle. I actually go by Delata Hafman, but usually just shorten it to Delata.
So will you go by Mrs. Delata?
Mrs. Delata, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I slaughtered your name there. I apologize for that.
No worries at all.
And welcome to Murray. We're glad to have you.
Thank you so much.
Look forward to getting to know you a little bit, maybe in person soon, hopefully.
Someday.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we will take a motion to approve the appointment of principal for Horizon.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I apologize. I jumped in too soon. I apologize, Principal or President Anderson.
Oh, Superintendent Covington, you are making the motion, so I will turn the time back over to you.
So thank you, President Anderson. I would like to propose to the board that the following individual be appointed as principal of Horizon Elementary. Again, with the assignment to begin July 1 of 2020. And that individual is Whitney Anderson.
Great, sorry about that. This is a little different setup here. So I will take a motion from the board to approve the appointment of Whitney Anderson as the principal of Horizon Elementary.
I would be very pleased to nominate or appoint Whitney Anderson at Horizon Elementary. She's awesome.
Okay, and that was Glo Merrill that did that.
Oh, yes, that was Glo Merrill.
And I'll take a second.
And I'll second Belinda Johnson.
And then any discussion? All right, we will go ahead with a vote to approve Whitney Anderson as the principal of Horizon. And Belinda Johnson, we'll start with you.
Yes, Belinda Johnson.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Payne, yes.
And Glo?
Glo Merrill, yes.
And Jaren?
Jaren Cooper, yes.
Great. Thank you. And we will also turn the time over to Whitney for a few minutes for her to say a few words.
Thank you. I am excited for this opportunity to grow as a leader and to serve the Horizon community. I've been there for a few years now, and worked alongside Heather, and I love the staff there, and I love the students there, and the whole Horizon community. So I'm excited to continue to serve them. I obviously have big shoes to fill, and Horizon will miss Heather in the building. But I feel like because of the relationships that I have with other principals, with Heather, and the trust and the support that I feel from them and from Superintendent Covington and the Murray board, I feel that I'm super excited to go on the journey. So thank you for this opportunity, and I just hope I don't mess it up.
Thank you, Whitney. You'll be fabulous.
Yeah.
And we can call you Mrs. Anderson.
Yep, that's great. It's an easy one.
I probably won't forget that one. All right, thank you so much. And we have every confidence that you'll do a fabulous job there. All right, we'll turn the time over to Superintendent Covington for a few administrative changes.
Thank you. So first of all, thank you again to Hannah and Whitney. We are very excited to have you with Whitney continuing to be among our ranks of administrators, and to Hannah for joining us. And we look forward to working with you. And we also look forward to the day when we can all work together. We do have 3 other administrative changes. These do not require board appointment, but they are administrative changes that we wanted to announce this evening. The first administrative change is Heather Nicholas has been named as the principal of Parkside Elementary. This will be effective again July 1 of 2020. We appreciate Heather. Heather has been the principal of Horizon Elementary for the past 9 years and has a very extensive background in administration in both secondary and elementary. And we are very fortunate to have Heather joining the faculty and leading the faculty at Parkside Elementary. The second one is we have hired John Jensen. John Jensen comes to us out of Salt Lake City School District. John Jensen will be the assistant principal at Murray High School, again, effective July 1 of 2020. And finally, we have hired Vanessa Job. Vanessa Job is coming to us from the Park City School District. Again, has a good background in elementary education. And Vanessa will be serving as the administrative intern assistant principal at Horizon Elementary, again, beginning July 1 of 2020. So I'd like to express my thanks to everyone for accepting these new positions. And I look forward again to having an amazing administrative team as we continue to work together as a Murray family.
All right, thank you, Superintendent Covington, and welcome to John Jensen and Vanessa. We're great to have you in our Murray family, and Heather, we appreciate you as such an outstanding administrator in our district. And again, I look forward to meeting you guys in person so I can actually see who you are, because I can only see myself at this point, and it's not pleasant. All right, we will move on to our delegations. So our MEA delegation, Mark Durfee.
I have not seen Mark on, and I know Mark was planning on joining this. I just do not see him. So at this time, I guess President Anderson maybe will. Oh, there's Mark, I see him. Sorry, Mark, you're unmuted.
I've never been so invisible, right? Well, so I just wanted to congratulate those appointments and welcome to Murray. MEA's happy to welcome you and support you in anything that we can do to help you. As far as MEA's goes, I think our teachers have adjusted well to the situation and are doing the best they can with it. We've had some very good feedback. We appreciate the district support especially the tech side of it. It's been very helpful. So just wanted to pass that on. I know we usually get ready for negotiations this time of year, but I think we're all kind of in limbo on that. But hopefully we'll, the sooner we get back to work, and then we can take care of some of those things. So anyway, appreciate everything. Appreciate the opportunity to work in Murray. I think I've heard that a lot lately. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We will hear from Massa. Jill.
Thank you for unmuting me and not making me have to do that. I know I speak for all administrators. We want to, thank those outgoing administrators for all their hard work and service to the district, and also congratulate those new incoming ones. And I want to, say if there's anything you need as you come on into Murray, that we are here for you. And I know that you can ask any administrator and they will be glad to help you. We also want to thank the superintendent and all the district admin for their work this past month. They have been extraordinary, and their leadership has never been more on point. They have supported all of us as administrators and our teachers and the classified staff. And we have been extremely grateful for their leadership and their support through this difficult and challenging time. And we have felt their leadership and support, and we are grateful for them.
Thank you, Jill. Next, we will hear from Mespa and Thane.
I'm trying to unmute him. I apologize. Thane, are you able to, there we go.
Here we go. I played with it. I just want to once again acknowledge the great things that Murray School District is doing on keeping on top of all the needs to be said and done for the students. As the classified employees, we're grateful for all that you've done to help keep everybody motivated and working. That's been a struggle, I know, for many of you, and I'm grateful for the intuition of getting our district to a one-to-one on our technology. We were up and going for sure, the first district to get going with this crisis in hand. So, but also want to welcome those new administrators. Hope you find your custodians and your classified staff well trained and going and doing what you need them to do. So once again, thank you for all that you've done to support those of us.
All right, thank you, Thane. And our foundation, Jeannie.
President Anderson, she asked to be excused this evening. She said she had nothing to report out.
All right, thank you. And then Superintendent, do we have any patron statements at this time?
Yes, Doug Perry will read those.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we have one, and forgive me if I mispronounce the last name, but it's Kelly Teolia.
We put Doug on the spot for that.
I had to look it up. Anyway, she says, I would like to publicly thank the teachers, custodians, lunch people, administrators, social workers, and everyone else involved in the magic happening behind the scenes at this crazy time. As a parent, I appreciate the quick transition to home digital learning. It has been an adventure. I appreciate the resources we've been given. I appreciate the communication. I'm so thankful to be part of the Murray City School District. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. And thank you, Kelly. We will move on to our report of the board, and we will start. I'm trying to think where we sit, so I think we'll start with Belinda.
Okay, I just wanted to thank everybody, as everybody has, our staff and down to the last person has been amazing, and appreciate our DO and all our teachers and everyone stepping out of their comfort zone and making this all happen. It's hard to believe a month ago we were in board meeting and we had just shut down school, and look what's happened since then. But I also just wanted to note that I've personally heard a lot from my Parkside family about how pleased they are, how things have gone at Parkside, and how they feel their kids are supported and things are going smoothly. And even the first day that was crazy wasn't even that crazy, they thought. So it makes me happy to report that. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Belinda. Elizabeth.
So I would like to welcome the administrators. I really wish that I could have met you in person, but we've been social distancing now for a month. So I look forward to meeting you guys. And thanks to Jill and our Liberty team for the teacher parade that you put on for us. We really enjoyed that. Coming through the neighborhood was really fun. And my kids have also been going to the school to pick up a lunch every now and then, and it's been going really smoothly, and we really appreciate that. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Belinda. Jaren.
I would like to also welcome all the new administrators and all those changes. We're looking forward to having you with us here in our school district. I'd just like to commend also our district office and administrators and teachers and classifieds for all the hard work they have done in this difficult time. No matter where I go nowadays, when I talk to people who live outside the district and we talk about this particular situation, and it just they recognize how much more prepared we were to make this transition than other districts were. And I just commend you all for being proactive and thinking ahead in that regard. And it's been very nice to see that and see how well we've done. And I recognize that it's not without its own hiccups, and that will continue to be the case. But what I hope we get from this is through these challenges, we find opportunities to improve our overall ability to innovate and do things in a different way and in a better way. And that will hopefully take advantage of these struggles and find those opportunities and make our district even better going forward.
Thank you, Jaren. And Glo.
I just would like to congratulate our food people, starting with Dave and our superintendent, because I don't know, Jen, how many meals did we have yesterday?
Yesterday we had just over 1,050, and today we had, I believe it was 1,133 for breakfast and 1,133 for lunch. So right around 2,300.
Just amazing. And what I found out was that if the students didn't show up at the school to pick up the food, we have runners that take it to their doorstep, which is beyond amazing. And I was lucky enough to be in the interviews of some of the new administrators, and strong backgrounds and happy people that are going to be with us in Murray. And I just would like to congratulate all of them.
Thank you, Glo. And I want to echo everything that's been said by the other board members. I think it's when there's craziness and commotion, and sorry, I'm getting a little choked up, but that's when true leaders shine through. And I think we've had excellent leadership from our superintendent, our district staff, our administrators, our classified staff, teachers. We have had excellent leadership in Murray during a very unprecedented and difficult time. So thank you, and I appreciate the leadership that we have in this district. So with that said, we will move on to a report of our staff, and it looks like we have Robin Williams presenting.
And I'm super grateful to work with everyone that I work with. And I think that it warrants a shout out to our school board, who's also been very supportive of our, not only our teachers, but our ESPs, and keeping everyone whole and focused on those things. So thank you to our school board as well for your efforts to sustain us in some of these crazy times. And absolutely wholeheartedly believe in everything that I'm seeing happen with our administration, our classified, and definitely our teachers. And I want to echo Mark Durfee's comment about the support that's been shown to our teachers. Our coaches have rallied, and the log that we know about, which we know that there's probably a lot of times that they're not logging their phone calls. Our coaches have fielded 748 calls as of yesterday in helping people with questions about curriculum and online and different ideas and opportunities and apps, as well as helping parents and students with issues. So huge celebration. But I am here tonight actually because every year we meet to discuss sex education by policy in our district. So I'm going to kind of change the tenor for a minute. And I was super happy when I saw that we had 61 people who were participating, and looked and saw that a lot of my committee members are out there in Cyberland with me, because we did have 15 of us that looked at and reviewed curriculum this year. If you remember, I think all of you were school board members last year at this time that we reviewed in May. We do by policy need to go through anything that is new curriculum. We also last year were grappling with a lot of new updates to the law and procedures. This year was not a year for new laws. However, there was more clear guidance given to our teachers. And I know that I saw Victoria and Randy. I think we might have a couple of other teachers who have jumped on. But we've had a couple of opportunities this year for not only hiring some new teachers for health, but we've also had opportunities for our health teachers to retreat and to work on that curriculum. They also were provided training. So a lot of what you are going to see this year, the folder is about 10 times the size that it was last year. And the reason for that is because our teachers took the opportunity to really look at what their PowerPoints reflected, to look at the instructional materials that they had been using, and to review the videos, along with the fact that Randy Corres from the high school is a veteran teacher who came to us from Tooele, and he had materials that he had been using previously that had been approved in his district that we wanted to make sure were vetted by our committee. So our committee met 2 times, and I actually, Jen, that's the wrong PowerPoint. The PowerPoint, let me talk you through for just a moment, Jen. The PowerPoint that I would like to use is in that same folder of sex ed, but it is a PowerPoint that should say 2020 Sex Ed Committee.
I will have it up momentarily. I apologize that the wrong one got loaded. So give me one moment and it will be up.
By the way, as she brings that up, your folder that you were given as part of your materials that also will become public domain, your folder contains previously approved materials, including this PowerPoint from last year, as well as the materials that we reviewed this go around. And with our sex ed committee, I'll wait till Jen pulls that up. We did, our first meeting was on February 25th. And within that, so Jen, if you want to open that with slides, your middle, there you go. Perfect, thank you. Perfect. And if you'll go to the next slide for me. And then click on curriculum, guest speakers, and video review. That's going to bring up our agenda. So we met as a team on the 25th of February for the first round. That was a pretty full room and a lot of materials were shared. One of the discussion items we had was not only that our teachers had had opportunity to retreat and update their materials to more accurately reflect the law, they also felt that it was very important to reflect the charge that they had been given to be more detailed and to not soften the messages, if you will, that surround the choices of human sexuality with our students. And part of that was a reflection from our health department, which is showing that the STD rates and pregnancy rates for students of school age, as well as that younger group, so we're talking 13 to, I believe it was 21, that those rates are increasing at an alarming rate, especially when talking about the STDs. And so the idea of prevention is throughout our programs that start as early as 7th grade and obviously go into our high school curriculum. So again, as we met the first time, we went through the health education website, we went through the current law, and we did discuss the health department findings, as well as what the intentions of our current health teachers were with revising that curriculum. Within each of these links then, they had, Jen, if you'll click on the sex ed committee folder for me. What was shared here is a culmination of the previously approved materials, as well as I asked each of our teachers to put into that to be reviewed file any of the PowerPoints, links to the videos, and links to any of the handouts that they would be asking students to complete. Something as simple as a game or crossword puzzle, those were included in here as well. So if you will click on 7th grade for me, and I know Victoria is out there. So Superintendent Covington, do you mind unmuting Victoria for me?
Just looking for her. Hang on, we got a lot of people.
I got it muted.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Victoria. Do you want to talk for just a minute about the 7th grade efforts and the retreats that the three of you had?
Yeah, sure. So we met as a junior high team multiple times, and we reviewed all of the curriculum. So we have brand new state curriculum that's being implemented. This year is the pilot year. Next year will be the actual year. I'm so sorry, my dog is barking. Go away. But we went through and we worked really hard to find a lot of good quality information that would really reflect our demographic of student and what we thought was most beneficial to those students. So some of the biggest changes that we made, I think were it's the contraceptive PowerPoint. So we previously at the junior high level haven't talked about that, but like Robin was talking about, the studies show that students are engaging in sexual activity at younger ages, and that those STD rates specifically are increasing a lot. And so we thought as a team that it would be important to really give those kids information, because we want them to be well educated and just to understand, because they engage in activities not understanding, and they hear a lot of information from social media that's not always correct. And so we really want to give them good quality information and let them understand and know kind of the consequences of behavior, but at the same time understand these preventive measures that can be taken. But of course, with that, abstinence is the best way, and that is underlined multiple times throughout all of our PowerPoints, that abstinence is the best and only way to 100% prevent STDs and pregnancy. So that's kind of the thing that we advocate most.
And I think I know Kelly is on as well, and she was one of our parent representatives, and maybe Victoria or Kelly can speak to this, but we actually had discussion about how this gets rolled out to students and how we communicate this information about upcoming curriculum to our parents. So parents are given opportunity to know what the upcoming curriculum is for their child, and they have full rights to opt their students out of the units as they go forward. Victoria, do you have anything that you want to add?
Yeah, every parent has to sign a permission slip. It's opting in. That's kind of that's the permission slip is an opt-in. So they can opt out as well, or they can opt out of certain portions of what we teach, and parents are more than welcome to look at any of our curriculum. And then I know that us as at least the 7th grade team, and I'm sure that the high school does this as well, we send out kind of reminders that, hey, we're coming up upon this unit, so that parents kind of have a heads up that this will be starting.
Okay, I don't know, with Randy and Danielle, they both teach at the high school level. And again, I think that they were looking to be accurate and reflective of the new laws, as well as provide materials. And Randy, when he talked to our committee, a lot of his materials had been previously approved. They weren't necessarily that much different, but we felt like it was important to take his materials through that vetting process with our committee of 15 as well. And again, same types of things that are shared with parents and that information. And again, I don't know if you want to now unmute Kelly, but from a parent perspective, our parents who served on the committee were very invested in factual, accurate information that not only would benefit students who were still in school, but also as they became young adults, that they had accurate information so that they could make valuable and correct life choices. Kelly, do you have anything you want to add as a parent?
Not really. I was just surprised that some of the things weren't covered previously and just felt that any information we can put in their hands for them to make the best choices is valuable. So I did appreciate going through and looking at all of the things, and found some great tools to share with my own family in case they're not paying attention. So I really appreciated that too, and love the organization of all the information, that it is easy for a parent that wants to know more information to go click around and get the information and the videos and the content. And so I just was really impressed with every piece of participating in this. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Kelly. We met again on March 9th, and that was right on top of, I believe, the high school community council. So some of our parents weren't at that meeting, but had spent the time going through all of the information and materials. And we then, after that point of meeting for clarification and questions that people might have of our teachers, gave it a little bit more time. And then I asked everyone to fill out whether or not they supported the materials as they were given. And every single person said yes. I only had one parent, because her daughter got married, she said that she hadn't gone through everything. And so on our form, I actually put that she said she trusted the teachers, what she had seen, she really appreciated. And she wanted to make a point that she was actually one of the parents that she wanted more. She wanted more detailed information, and she felt like kids shouldn't be opted out. She wanted every kid to have this information because she felt like it was critical for their health and well-being. So I'm really confident that every one of those yeses that you're seeing are people that have spent time and had the opportunity to really look through these materials and to question our teachers. If you notice on that list, not only do we have administrators and teachers, we had one of our nurses present, and then we also had parents who were part of the process as well. So with that being said, you've got a copy of the summary PowerPoint, as well as you have a copy of both of our agendas from the 2 meetings we had this year, as well as you have a copy of the folder of materials that all of our team looked at and vetted. And I still have quite a few of the members who are there who are online with us right now. So if you have questions of me, of parents, or of our teachers, feel free to ask those questions now.
Any questions from our board? Okay, thank you, Robin, and thank you for all the people that were on that committee. Superintendent, do we need to do any kind of motion or approval of this?
No, this is just an annual report to the board. So it is a statutory requirement. And so from after this, Robin will submit the paperwork to the Utah State Board of Education, letting them know that we've met that statutory requirement. So thank you.
All right, great. If we have any questions from the board, then please direct them to Robin. Thank you, Robin. And then we will turn the time over to Superintendent Covington for some of our land trust amendments.
All righty, I am just getting them up. Fantastic. So let me share this with you. So we have 2 amendments to consider this evening. As we get close to ending our school year, we appreciate these principals, again, looking through their land trust and amending as needed. So the first amendment is from Grant Elementary. There are 2 parts to this amendment. The first amendment is they'd like to continue to support their student interventions. They've got a really good student intervention model going on. And looking at that, they need to allocate a little bit of some more funding for personnel for that. So they would like to move $1,000 from the textbook category in goal number 1 to the salaries category in goal number 1 in order to support those interventions. Then they would also like to do the same thing in goal number 2. So these are math and ELA goals. In goal number 2, they would also like to move $1,000 from their textbook line to salaries, again, to support student interventions. The Grant Elementary School Community Council met on March 10th, and they voted. There were 10 that approved, 1 that abstained to approve this amendment. So I would ask for your consideration as a board for a motion and a second to approve the Grant Elementary Land Trust Amendment.
Thank you. I'll take a motion from the board to approve the Grant Elementary School Land Trust Amendment.
I would move that Grant Elementary both could take $1,000 from textbooks twice so that they could have salaries that would be a benefit for the children as well as the teachers.
All right, and that was from Glow Merrill. So we have a motion from Glow Merrill, and I'll take a second.
This is Jared Cooper, I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Jaron. Any discussion from the board? All in favor of approving the grant amendment to School Land Trust Amendment, and we'll start with Glow.
Yes, I approve.
Jaron?
Jaron Cooper approves.
Belinda?
Belinda Johnson approved.
And Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Payne approved.
Thank you. All right, Superintendent Covington, we'll move on to the next amendment.
Thank you. The next amendment comes from Viewmont Elementary. And as the board recalls, we've had a few from Viewmont because originally in their land trust amendment, they had allocated funds for a 28-hour aid to assist with some, excuse me, they had allocated funds for an FTE. And the FTE was able to be through increased enrollment, was given through the district. So they've had a large amount of money in their salaries category in their first goal. And they have been working to amend that to use it in the way that's most beneficial to their students. So the Viewmont Elementary Community Council has submitted an amendment to amend their goal, first goal, by moving $2,500 from the salaries category to the software category in goal number 2. They want to purchase additional licenses for IXL is a math program, Brain Pop Junior, and the Eureka Math Digital Suite. So they're moving it from what was a ELA goal to a math goal. And again, the Viewmont Community Council met on March 19th, and there were 10 that approved, none that did not approve, and none that were absent. So I'd ask for a motion and a consideration of the Viewmont Elementary Land Trust Amendment.
I'll take a motion to approve the Viewmont Elementary Land Trust Amendment.
This is Jaron Cooper. I move that we approve the Viewmont Elementary Land School Trust Amendments.
And a second.
I'll second. Elizabeth Payne.
Thank you. Any discussion from the board? Right, we'll take a vote on approving the Viewmont Elementary Land Trust, and we'll start with Belinda.
Belinda Johnson, yes.
Glow.
Glow Merrill, yes.
Jen. Jaron.
Jaron Cooper says yes. Sorry.
No problem. And who did I miss?
Me.
Elizabeth Payne.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Yes.
Elizabeth, you were on my screen when you talked, so I thought it was, I had already called on you. All right, we'll, the School Land Trust Amendment is approved for Viewmont.
Thank you, and I apologize to members of the board and members of the public for not getting that one switched over. So it should come up here just shortly. There we go. So you should all be able to see that amendment now. I will forward both of those amendments to Karen Rupp at the School Land Trust office at the State Board of Education and have her review them as well so that we can get those noted in our system. So thank you.
Superintendent Covington, the next on the agenda is the approval of the 2021 School Land Trust Amendments. Before we take a motion to approve those, I did have a few questions. Generally, we need to do a first reading, and this is, or do we not do a first reading on our land trust amendments?
On land trust plans, you do not need to, it's not policy, so it doesn't need a first and a second. However, if the board feels like they would like more time to go through them, we certainly do that.
Okay. The other question I had is, have you got any information regarding, generally if there's leftover funding from the land trust amendment from the previous year, that's frowned upon. But with the challenges that we're facing at the end of this school year, are we going to have any leftover balances? And have you got any information if that's going to be okay for this school year?
Yes, that's a great question. So the answer to that is yes. I have talked to the School Land Trust office, and they have also sent all superintendents guidance on this. So they are aware that School Land Trust will have excessive carryover, most likely higher than the 10% threshold that is in current board rule. And so they have done that. It's my understanding that the State Board of Education will be asking the legislature for a waiver on that for 1 year because it's also in code. But they are aware of that and they are allowing that. So we are okay to go over the 10% threshold for this year, just because that was just, it's nobody's fault. A lot of these land trust plans had things in it where things were being paid for that we're no longer able to do. So yes. And to that, one other thing I wanted to mention. So prior to the assessments being suspended for the year, all of our principals had done an amazing job and had met with their councils and got their plans approved. So in our plans, many of the in the plans for the 2020-21 school year, many of them have measurements that include RISE and DIBELS. Any of the state tests will not be available for next year to look at as measurements. And so I did contact Paula Plant at the School Land Trust office and explained to her that our plans were already in and voted by our councils. And she said it was fine for us to move forward with those plans with those measurements in it because we had additional measurements as well in all of our plans. So those were kind of two lingering questions that I had with regards to School Land Trust plans, given the current landscape that we are in.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then I will take a motion to approve our 2021 school land trust amendments.
Is that for all of our schools? We'll just do one
Well,
motion.
Together.
so we're lumping them all together. In the past, we have assigned those out to board members, to each person to review a certain school. Based on time, Jen,
Yeah,
I know there's a criteria we need to get these approved to get the funding. Is this our last chance at board?
No, if we could also do them in our study session as part of an open meeting if we needed to. That is not a problem at all. So.
All right. I guess we probably need to take the motion before we have the discussion, or I guess.
Cami, what if I make a motion? I move that we study and have 2 more weeks to study these, and we will approve them at the study session in the April study session. Does that work?
If that meets the time criteria, I feel more comfortable with that. Superintendent,
Agreed.
I apologize. We generally have had 2 reviews on that, so I wasn't sure that we were approving that, and I should have got that clarified.
Right, same with me. So I would just move that we study those and look at them to be approved in the study session for April.
All right, we will go ahead and do that. I don't think we need to take a motion on that. Board members, if you will take the 2 schools that you're assigned to for the year, and I'll send out an email, follow-up email telling you which schools those are. So if you will take those 2 to study in detail, and then we will approve those in our study session at our next meeting.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have anything else on the agenda. Is there anything else that you need, Superintendent?
I would like to ask that we, as a board, go into a closed session, and I will send a different Zoom link for that, to go into a closed session to discuss personnel and property.
Thank you. I will pull the board to approve going into closed session. Belinda.
Yes, please. Belinda.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Payne, yes.
And Jaren.
Do we keep losing Jaren?
Yeah,
he's on mute.
Jaren, yes, sorry.
And then
Romero, yes.
Okay, I will declare this. We will go into closed session, and I appreciate everybody logging on to this board meeting, and welcome to our new administrators. And we will end this board meeting and go into closed session.
Thank you. Board members, I will send you a link shortly. Scott and Darren, I'll send you a link as well as if you'd like to join us.
Thanks, everyone.